Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new video in the Thuluth script. In today's video we are going to continue with the letter Fa and Qaf and Waw, and we have some notes that we've kind of missed in the last couple of videos. So in this one hopefully we will catch up on some important notes. So the first one would be when it comes connected to a Ba, and this one I forgot to mention last time. For the letter Ba, if there was a Fa, we connect it with a Ba that is 1.5 points high. So you start with 1.5 points and 1 point down here, which is your main line. And for the 1.5 points Ba, you have to extrude here for a bit, and you would go down to the right. Then your Ba would come just like this, the continuity of it. So you go down to the right, then you curve back the other way around. With regards to this, it will have to go down, then go up. So you have to give yourself the space and the time to be able to produce this smooth shape. After this, we're going to use, because this is a Fa by itself, so it's a Ba and a Fa, we're going to use the Fa that goes high above, like 1 point above this line, and it is 2 points of width. Now, to make things easier for you, you could just drag this back here and you have this vertical line from the left, and you're going to add your 1 point here so that your Fa would become like, it will be located after 1 point from the letter Ba, and it is also 1 point high from the line itself. And for this, we can control the distance basically between the two letters. So you're going to go up for your 3 points, just like this, just about here you start rotating to touch the 1 point mark up here, and you're going to come back just like what we did last time, focusing on this angle and this angle, and over here you have to extrude it 1 point higher than the line. So you're going to stop here, and then you're going to go back down and continue with your letter as if it was a letter Ba, as we talked about it before. So I'm trying to clean the pen a bit. For some reason it doesn't want to clean. So yep, that's the one, and that's the two. Cleaning the pen is important because, as you can see, you've got some clotted ink on the pen. So yeah, let's keep going. So now we've written the first move, which is going down. You keep going down, and you have to keep an eye here that this line intersects with this line, and it keeps going, and you need 1 point of drop here for your shape down here, and you're going to continue it basically like a letter Ba, and it will stop here with a 1 point drop from the top of the Fa. So this is Ba Fa. I hope it's clear. The reason for this is basically to show you that we use the Ba that is 1.5 points of height with the letter Fa, because it changes with the letter Qaf. For the letter Qaf, we're going to use the Ba that goes up for 2 points, and it has a different decoration on top of the Ba, as we shall see. So for the letter Qaf, if it came at the end connected to a letter Ba, we're going to drag this down a bit, the line we're working with. You start with your letter Ba, which is going to be 3 points of height, 1 for the lower part and 2 points for the upper part, as we can see here. The upper part, as we said before, is going to be extruded for almost half a point. We're going to start with the Hilya, start like this. Then we put the pen on top of this, and we curve slightly to the right. We go down until we extrude, then slightly to the right. Then we stop here, and we drag our shape down below. Again, with the same rules, we leave 1 point of width between the two letters, and because the Qaf goes below the line, we just keep writing it. I want you to focus on this part over here, because we didn't really talk about that much last time. This part stops to the left, it doesn't stop backward. So when you go down, you stop pointing to the left rather than going back. This way it will enable you to simply come back with this, with whatever angle you want, and it's basically easier. Now you go down here, you go down for 1 point, and then you go down for 2 points, which are the points for the cup of the qaf, which is basically the noon shape. You add your 5 points of width right over here, 3, 4, 5, and it is important also to add your 1 point of drop down here to make sure that you drop your cup all the way down to here. Then you start rotating and coming back to finish it somewhere around here. Of course, you always finish this side of the qaf or the fa or the waw, just to make it look prettier and neater. Back to this point that we mentioned here. So for example, if you had a waw, as we said, you go up, then left, then when you go up here, you stop this way. You stop pointing outward. So that when you come back, it gives you this shape. See, the stop outward allowed us to have a better feeling, and it guided us to not drag the shape inside too much. We only have to do a small amount of fixing out here. If you were to go back, this will result into an edge here, up here. But anyway, just focus on stopping outward once you write these letters with regards to this one. So here we have a qaf, again, the 2 dots up here. As you can see, the qaf would be lower than the ba, usually. The same thing we use for the waw would be this one, so no need for that one. We've got another note regarding the head of those letters, the qaf, waw, and fa. So in some cases you will find some calligraphers do this move, which is basically writing the letter, then leaving this outside edge empty. This one here. They don't connect the 2 letters together. So you'll find that this goes up, then comes down, and the inside bit will have its own shape. Now honestly, I've never tried that, and I think it's drone or something, but yeah, if you know how to do it, feel free to comment down below. But there's a shape like this that they don't connect the letter to whatever, to itself, like they don't close it. Sometimes they use it, for example, they would connect some letter to the first part, which is this one, and then they would come back and they would use this to continue the writing. So instead of looking normal, I'm going to try and write both shapes. So instead of writing the letter this way, they would go down and they would use this side to draw this shape, basically. Then whatever comes after this is connected to this. Some people see it's pretty. I mean, I think there are some certain times you can use this with, but I just prefer the normal one, this one. We've got also, for example, a word I want to case study with you, which is for tajid or for yajid. So though that word is basically, you've got a fa, connected to a ya. We've got your 1 point here, of course. And when it connects to this ya, that connects to a jim, you stop over here. So you go up and you go down for your jim. You don't really go high, it stops with this to have this smooth shape up here. And then you connect with your jim. So for example, here the jim is connected to a dal. So we're going to use this jim. And again, the same idea about the dal, that it stops here, and this would continue with this angle. The ya would come here. If it was a ta, it would be over here. For example, تجد كل ما عملت من خير محضرة فتجد. So I wanted to have a chat about this part. over here where it stops, and it looks connected to this, so it's like a unity of letters built on top of each other. If this was higher, it will break this edge and it won't look pretty, so keep an eye on this one. Again, with regards to the drop down and drop up, you have to give each move it's just when you do those moves. Let's write some more examples. So for example, if you want to write the word nafs, which means a soul, we are going to use the big noon, this high one, as we said, the 1 and the 2, then you go down, then you go up, you leave 1 point between the 2 letters, and this is the fa that we talked about before that looks slightly to the right, and the fa is followed by a sin because it's going up. This is why we used that shape of fa, and then you have your sin that would continue just like what we talked about previously. We have also faqr and faqir. This will give us a better understanding of the difference between those fas. I'm just trying to reinforce what we've learned last time. So faqr, we have a fa that is connected to a qaf that is connected to a ra. So this qaf will have to be the high one because it is connected to a low letter. And then down below you go with your ra. You're going to use this ra. If it was the other ra, you would use the other qaf. So this is fa, qa, ra. If it was the other ra, the one that goes up, you're going to use this fa, this qaf. Go to the right, you stop, you go down, and you come back. And go up, and you continue with your ra. So it's basically dependent on the letter that follows the fa or the qaf. Last time we spoke about the fa that elongates. If you had a fa and it was like elongated, it can also be a qaf, for example, and we talked about when it comes at the beginning of a word. So even in the middle of a word, if you want it to be elongated, you could use the high one depending on the shape coming after it, but you can use the high one. Let me just fix this one. Yeah, this is better. You can use the high one, especially in mustaqim, in the Fatiha. And you go up, then you go down for the meme. So I just want to show you that you can also use the elongation in the middle for these letters. I hope these are clear. Right now, so far, you've got several shapes and several letters to keep up with, so I encourage you to stop and go back and try writing each letter with what you've practiced. So for example, you've got the letter alif, you could connect a ba to an alif just like this, ha or a jim to an alif, which will remind you that you're going to use the almond shape, ha or a jim, and then sin to an alif. Again, it is just to get your head around those letters and those connections, and you keep going. If you finish the alif, you go to the next one, the ba, you connect the ba to the jim, which will bring this to your mind, this shape, and you could use both, try with the two shapes, this one or the other one. Once you finish with the ba, you go back to, because with the ba you're going to notice that this looks like with the ha or a jim or a ha. When you connect it to a dal, it will change a bit, it will be the shorter one. And for the ra, again, it will change. It will have this shape for you to work with, or the other shape. For the sin, it will change into the high one. So it is basically just for you to keep, to remember these shapes. because there are a lot of them. And then once you finish from the ba, you use the ha or a kha just to remember. So if you want a ha and a fa, you could use this fa and write khafaqa. So that you know how they look like, or if it was hafara, which means dug a hole, you might find yourself having to choose a different fa, which is this one that goes high. And it is more of seeing the different shapes together, so that when you have an art piece and you want to write it, you won't get stuck on what shape or which letter you're going to use. Anyway, this was for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the last one for the fa, the qaf, and the waw. And yeah, the next one will start the kaf, which will take time. I think that one would take either 3 or 4 lessons. So yeah, be prepared for that one. This has been Ammar Al-Audi. I hope you liked this video. Like, share and subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about Arabic calligraphy. Stay safe out there and have a lovely day, evening or night. And see you soon. Goodbye.